Influenza is an ancient disease that has been with mankind since civilization. It's not considered a lethal or deadly disease, seeing that less than 1% of its victims die or are killed from it. It's transmitted via small droplets as people talk, sneeze, or cough. The virus itself has a short incubation period of about 1 to 2 days before the symptoms start showing. In order for influenza to maintain an epidemic, it needs a critical population. The virus affects mammals that are sociable and tend to congregate in large numbers. There is a seasonal aspect of the flu. In the tropical areas closer to the equator, there are 2 times of the year when the flu is the most prominent, in April and in October. In the more temperate regions of the globe, there is generally only 1 month that has a high occurrence of the disease. In the northern hemisphere, this month is January, whereas in the southern hemisphere, this occurs during the month of July. The effects of influenza, infection and transmission within a population can be minimized with the assistance of infection control. Infection control minimizes the transmittance of the disease through a variety of methods. Methods include hand sanitation, vaccination, barrier methods, face masks, and isolationist techniques. The simplest methods to protect yourself in a heavily populated environment include washing your hands consistently, obtaining a semi-annual vaccination, diminish contact with the infected, and if influenza surfaces in your vicinity, utilize additional barrier methods. Vaccination is a simple semi-annual process which involves obtaining a flu shot. Once infection has occurred, antibodies within the individual signal immune responses which develop antigens to fight off any future influenza strains. As influenza adapts, it alters into a form in which the vaccination becomes weaker and ultimately useless. Thus, newer vaccines must be developed continuously to combat new strains. Influenza vaccination is the most effective means of protecting susceptible individuals and decreasing viral transmission within a community. Scientists meet twice every year to review surveillance data and come up with the ideas and make recommendations as to which strain should be included in the upcoming season's influenza vaccine. Here you can see the different potential outcomes of both an individual and population as a result of the susceptibility to a disease, such as the flu during both good times and times of stress. At the individual level, in good times, the host will have a higher probability of survival and reproduction since most likely there are fewer infections and pathological effects. However, in times of stress, such as resource shortages or unfavorable environmental conditions, the outcome is more likely to be reproductive failure and death if the individual becomes infected because of the host's lowered immune response. At the population level, the outcome in good times would instead be population growth, as most of the individuals would be relatively healthy and have a higher survival from the disease. In times of stress, there would be more individuals with weaker immune systems, and the outcome expected would be a decline in population as a rate of higher mortality. We hope that you see the potential dangers of an influenza epidemic. The ecological effects at the population level could be catastrophic if the disease was to run rampant. Vaccinations are a great method of protection against the flu. However, it is impossible for every mammal to receive vaccinations, leaving wild populations in danger of possible epidemics, which could lead to their population decline.